How do you increase your IPI score or index on Amazon so that you can send more items into storage at FBA? My name is Stephen Pope, and this is my Amazon Guide. So first of all, how do you even get to the IPI index score? They just moved the UI around. I generally don't like the UI changes Amazon's making right now, so just wanted to show you how to get there first. So put your cursor over inventory, go to manage inventory. That'll bring up this screen. On the far right, on the top mid, you can see inventory dashboard. Click on that. So this is a score of 485 on screen here, and you need to be at 500 by August 15th, or they're going to limit your storage for Q4. So this was a shockwave announcement a week ago, and I'm getting a lot of questions about, okay, cool, my score's not high enough. How can I increase it in this short time period of less than 4 weeks? So short answer, you probably won't be able to increase it. That's the honest God's truth. But I am going to give you some recommendations on how to address it nonetheless. The reason why it's not something you're going to be able to pull off in a couple of week time frame is because they changed how they calculate the IPI score this year in 2020, and now it's a rolling 90-day shot. So any action you take right now is going to be weighted against 90 days, and quite frankly, if you're below 500 at any point in the last 90 days, it's going to be pretty hard to get above 500 because you basically would have to increase your sales velocity significantly. We're talking 200% significant in 3-week time frame. So flash sale, liquidation, removal orders will not work. You do need to remove excess inventory, but it will not increase your score. It will just stop from getting penalized. There are 4 factors in inventory in the score for this inventory. So I'm going to go through all of these factors, how they do the performance. So 4 factors here. Number 1 is excess inventory. This is the one that will damn you the most. If you have too much inventory of a product, they're going to get mad at you. They're going to penalize you. They're going to lower your score, and it's going to harm your account more than all of the other 3 metrics. The second most important is sell-through. Finally, in a very distant third and fourth is stranded inventory and in-stock inventory. They already know that you're incentivized to keep stuff in stock. And if you're failing to keep things in stock, then you're going to fail as a business to begin with. So that's why it's in fourth. What they want to penalize is when you're egregiously sending in 5,000 units and you're only moving 2 or 3 a month. They're going to charge you thousands of dollars in storage costs. So on the bottom of my screen here, this took me a while to figure out, but you can actually click in this area. Like the UI doesn't make sense, but in the bottom left, notice how when I just clicked in this general area, it popped up some information. So here's my current storage limit. It's unlimited, right? My current usage is 1,100 cubic feet. But next period, based on a 485 score, they're going to limit me to 1,785. Well, if you have a seasonal item and you are going to increase your sales in December by 3x, well, you're going to have some stockouts this year because if my regular run rate requires an 1,100 storage limit and I'm capped at 1,800, but I sell 3x in December, do the math there. I would normally need to have 3,300 in storage, and I'm capped at 1,785. So it's a problem. I don't think the community has really understood as an Amazon selling community, that is, how big of a deal this is. I have given this a lot of thought the past week since the announcement, and what I think is going to happen is we're going to see massive stockouts in Q4. We're going to see Amazon traffic go up 100% this year, starting around Black Friday. You're going to have COVID 2.0 hit, and you're going to see massive amounts of new buyers. So your sales were already going to go up, but because your past selling behavior is, maybe it might be up since COVID because people are buying online, but regardless, if December is going to be 100% up and you would normally have 3x run rates times 3 times 2, that's 600%, right? So like I'm telling you, this is going to be an insane Q4 this year. I am prophetically envisioning a massive selling in December. And so when you combine all these factors together, if you have a limit on storage, you can't send your seasonal items, nor can your competition, and you're going to see massive stockouts. So you're going to need to prep for this by having your own 3PL warehouse set up. You got some time to get this stuff together. Go find that 3PL, make sure that they can ship and sell units fast to direct consumers, and that you have your contract and negotiation locked in now. Because this is something that will inevitably happen, I'm telling you. What other tips I could give you? Raise your prices on Black Friday weekend. Normally everybody's going down in price. I'm telling you, raise your prices. Because they're all going to go stock out, and 2 weeks later, you're going to be the only guy left in stock. And because you raised your prices, you slowed down your velocity, and then you are the only one in stock, and you're selling at that higher margin. It's going to be the best way to handle Q4 this year. So raise your prices Black Friday weekend. This is the only year this may ever apply to. Unprecedented nature of COVID. So, all right, so back to the theme of the video today. How do you increase your IPI? First of all, don't ship in more than a 60-day supply to Amazon. They want to see turn rates. Now, the reason why I like 60-day supplies, because if it takes 30 days to check in and you only send in a 30-day supply, then you're guaranteed to stock out. But if you send in a 60-day supply, then you got 30 days left in supply while that next 60-day supply is checking in. And we've seen countless dozens of FBA facilities taking up to 30 days to check in, and it's only July 18th at time of this video, right? So imagine getting closer to October or November when the check-in times are going to slow down further. So I would send in your Christmas stock now in the middle of July. Now, granted, you're limited on storage. They are slow in check-in, and competition is going to be up, and there's going to be more buyers. And so all these things are going to factor together. It's going to be massive chaos, in my opinion. Nothing you can do to prevent the chaos, but what you can do is protect your ability to sell. All right, so 60-day supply at all times at Amazon. Your 3PL should have a 90-day supply, and then route your stuff from China. If you have hundreds of units in excess right now, you got to make a business decision. And I like using that phrase, business decision. It's the choice between two negatives, generally. So on one hand, if you do a removal order now, chances are you're going to waste a lot of headache trying to flip that inventory back in closer to Christmas. On the flip side, if you keep the inventory there, you're going to be stuck with it, and you're going to have storage limits, and you're not going to be able to ship in other faster moving inventory. So if you're a seasonal seller right now, you're going to be pulling your hair out, because it's really difficult under these circumstances to be a seasonal seller. But nonetheless, excess inventory is bad. That's how they're going to penalize you on the IPI. All right, so sell through. This is how often your inventory is being sold through. So while you might have 2 or 3 SKUs that are overstocked, your overall sell through maybe not turning enough product per number of units stored. So you can see I've got a FBA sell through of 1.6. You click on learn more, gives you some inventory performance information talking about all of these influences, right? So if it's in the dark green, it's excellent. It's in the light green, it's good. If it's in yellow, it's fair, and red is poor, right? So I've got 2 dark greens, 1 borderline green, dark green, and 1 in the yellow, right? And that's a 485 score. So, and that's a pretty good score, mind you. But the IPI used to be at 350 in January. It was 400 a month ago. Now it's at 500 for their limit for unlimited inventory. So Amazon's going to run out of space this year in FBA. That's why they're enacting this rule. And they know it's going to be chaos. So that's why they're doing it in the middle of July. I'm surprised this announcement came so early. I thought it would hit in September and you'd have had more time. And so I was actually waiting to send in my big shipments for my Christmas, and I missed the boat. Most of us missed the boat, in fact. So there's a lot of good information that you can check out, and I'll put links in the video on dealing with some of that. But FBA sell through, how many times your inventory is turning over. And then really those are the two important ones. If you got stuff in stranded inventory, yeah, go solve it, but it's not, I mean, it might be worth a couple points. That's really not going to be that big of a deal. But if you got a stranded item, it can happen for a variety of different reasons. Maybe you have it ready for a launch date and you purposely stranded it. Maybe, and so your offer release date's set up to the future. Maybe it's because you didn't flip it to FBA and it's stuck as merchant fulfilled. There's a dozen different ways items strand on Amazon. So you got to go over to your Amazon stranded inventory, make sure it's at 0, clear those out. If you got a listing yank, that can be a stranded inventory issue. We do, by the way, help with listing yanks. You can go over to myamazonguy.com. We solve all kinds of Amazon problems. And then finally, fourth is FBA in stock. So because inventory takes 30 days to check in at Amazon frequently, keep a 60-day supply. And it's a very fine line that you're walking. But you know, whether you got 3 items or 300 in your inventory, you got to keep stuff in stock. Especially your best sellers. And if you're shipping from China, then you got to deal with 90-day lead times. It's a whole nightmare to manage inventory logistics. Spreadsheet this stuff. Keep high-level metrics like 60-day supply of whatever your last 30-day supply run rate is. So go over to your business reports, times that number for the last 30 days by 2, and that's the number of units you should have on the way to Amazon at any given point, so that you are in stock with a 60-day supply. So hopefully this video was helpful. We do consult and help companies manage their inventory all the time, as well as their IPI and dealing with situations. No, you can't ticket Amazon and say, hey, increase my IPI. No, you can't ask for one-time waivers. This is going to be a very hard line in the sand. So not a whole lot you can do and scramble in the next couple of weeks besides keep your own inventory shipping merchant fulfilled out of your own warehouse or 3PL. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. If you want to grow your Amazon sales, go over to myamazonguy.com and contact us. We'll make it easier to grow your sales through SEO, advertising, design, and more. We help more than 80 active clients sell on Amazon. Thanks so much for your time, and hope you leave a comment with any questions or other requests for videos.